Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Alexis here. If this is your first time watching any of my videos, I'm Alexis. I am a flight medic in the Air Force Reserves, loving to share information for those who are stepping into the 4-0 field, who are reservists, and also most recently talking about girl talk on this channel as well, and you'll see some dance content too. But in this video, I want to talk about tech school study habits. As a 4-0, our tech school is pretty lengthy. I was in tech school from March of 2021. Yeah, March 2021 until July, right? So we have two phases. You're at Fort Sam Houston for your first phase, and then your second phase is dependent upon where they need you, and that's kind of like the clinical side of your medic experience in tech school. And so I want to specifically focus on the Fort Sam Houston portion because it's very intensive. You have kind of the anatomy and physiology part, which is part 1, and then you have the EMT portion, part 2, and then you have nursing. And if you see any of my tech school videos of my experience, me passing the NREMT exam, or even before that, you'll kind of get a better understanding of how that all works too. But I just want to specifically talk about study habits because it's going to be necessary and important to use them to successfully complete all of Fort Sam Houston, okay? And my goal, my dream, my desire is for you guys, if you're foreign, if you're going to Fort Sam Houston, that you get through it without any failures, without being pushed back, without getting a new AFSC, and none of that. I was able to get through it from beginning to end without any of that. And so hopefully this information helps you to do the same. Okay, so I want to address a couple things before I get into the study habits. One, you're probably asking, why do I need to have study habits? And I would say it's because specifically for the EMT portion, you're getting a lot of information in a short period of time. On the civilian side, they have like 6 months before they have to take the NREMT exam, the National Registry exam. For us, we have 6 weeks. And so it's a lot of information condensed down before you have to take that exam that everyone takes on the outside and in the military. Okay, so that's the why. And secondly, I've had people comment on my tech school videos also asking, like, what's the EMT book that you guys use so I can try and study before? Should I study before? And so let me tell you that I was that person as well before going to basic. I was like, let me try and learn some of this medical terminology before I go in, because I had no medical experience before getting this job. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's probably not gonna help. Okay, when you get to the EMT portion, we didn't go through the book chapter by chapter in order. We were all over the place. And so you trying to figure it out is probably going to confuse you more. But I promise that when you get there, they'll give you everything that you need to succeed. You have the opportunity to ask questions. And also I'm going to give you some tips in this video too. Okay, so I want to address those two things. And then next, I want to talk about when you get there, they're also going to give you a lot of briefings on what type of learner you are, some study habits, some study styles. And I'm going to tell you to take that with a grain of salt because everyone is different. And the study habits that I share in this video, they're going to be specific to me. But if you're a learner like me, it'll help you. And if not, the principles behind the study habits will, okay? But like I said in the beginning, they will kind of have you fill out these worksheets to see what kind of learner you are and what kind of study habits and the highlighting and all this stuff. All right, and for me, it didn't really work for me at all. It did help me understand that I am a dynamic learner. I need to like touch, feel, see, hear. Like I'm very like a hands-on learner, and so the study habits that I'll share kind of touches on those aspects of how I learn and can help you too. Okay, so the principles behind these study habits is 1, repetition. The more that you see things, the better you understand it, the more it will stick with you, and the longer it will stay with you, the better you'll retain it. And then secondly, testing your knowledge. I feel like you don't know something until someone asks you, or you have to write it down, or it's just like on the whim, you have to kind of explain a specific concept or idea or situation. Okay, and I'm getting to the study habits, they're coming. One last thing is that these exams that you're gonna get in tech school, it's not like a spelling test that you had in elementary, middle, high school. Okay, it's like situation based, if that makes sense. Meaning you're gonna have scenarios. Maybe that's what I should have said. Scenario based questions, right? So it's not straightforward like, what is the heart and where are the parts of the heart? You know, it is like scenarios. This is the patient you have. These are the conditions. What are you going to do? And so the study habits outline kind of helps you really understand what you're learning so that when you get those questions, you know how to answer them. Okay, study habits, here they are. Okay, so one thing that was very helpful for me were flashcards, and I still have my flashcards from tech school, so I'm going to show you. Hold, please. So these are my flashcards. Like, I kept them because never know when I'll need them or I need to freshen up. As a reservist, you don't really, especially if you're not a medical person on the outside, you're not always thinking about the information, right? So when it's time to do your job on base once a month and you need a refresher, you have some tools for you. So that's why I kind of keep them around. but these are all of my flashcards. Flashcards help me tremendously throughout tech school. And the anatomy and physiology piece was like my favorite part because it has to do with the body and how it works and the different parts of your body, and I love that. So I didn't really need too many flashcards about that because I also took a similar class in college. But this is mainly ENT, and on my flashcards I put everything that I did not understand. Okay, everything that I needed more repetition on, that I needed some reinforcement, or when I filled out outlines, what I got wrong on those outlines is what I wrote on these flashcards. And that brings me to my second method for studying was the outlines that each class has access to. I remember when you're in tech school, you're automatically enrolled into a Google Classroom, and when you get to your classes, while your instructor will give you a Google Classroom, another one. And so we had like outlines for each chapter, and I'm going to tell you to fill out those outlines. Okay, fill them out because they are helpful. And like I said, whatever I did not get right on the outline, I would put them on these flashcards and kind of give myself another opportunity to repeat what I needed more reinforcement on. Okay, so study habit 1, flashcards, right? The ability to see something like visually, to flip it over. I have a kinetic situation going on, and some movement. It helps my brain understand what's happening. So flashcards are definitely helpful. Second would be the outlines. The outlines that you have access to in your Google Classroom, don't let them just sit there. Use them. They're helpful. A side tip, don't be afraid to ask questions. If you're studying and you don't understand something, ask questions. I'd be the first one to be like, I don't understand. Or can you say that again? Or even after you get an exam and you get stuff wrong, ask why you got it wrong so you have a better understanding when it comes around the next time. Or when you're with an actual patient, you know what to do. Okay, don't be afraid to ask questions. The last one is this textbook. All right, so one thing I quickly figured out, this is the EMT book that you're gonna use throughout tech school. And one thing I quickly figured out in trying to figure out what some study habits would be or which ones would be good for me is that I am a very slow reader, like very slow. So if you have to read 4 chapters by the next day, it's gonna take me hours. It's gonna take me hours, so that's not a strategy that I use, right? But I did read verbatim out of here on concepts I did not understand, right? I guess the overall theme in my study habits was focusing on my weaknesses. What I know, what I understand and I don't need help on, I understand I don't need help on it. What I need to focus on are the things that I'm not so good at. And so that's what helped me get through every exam without having to redo it. That's what helped me get through the entire program without having to be pushed back another week. And I'm so grateful for that experience. Okay, I'm so grateful that I did not have to prolong my time in tech school because that is possible. I saw it so many times around me, and it hurts my heart to see my people like my original class of like, I don't remember the number. I think my class was originally like 30 people, maybe 28. I went and it came down to like 10 of us, okay, at the very end. So you have to stay focused. You need to adopt some study habits that are going to help you get through it. I just wanted to share mine just in case you need some sort of idea, but figure out your own system. Everyone learns differently. Everyone kind of retains things differently, but if you're a kinetic learner like me, hands-on, need to see, need to touch things, right? Need to read, need to listen, to see it again, then these things could be helpful for you. But that's all I wanted to share in my video. And just to recap, flashcards, outlines, and then read verbatim in the book the things that did not make sense in your brain. And be consistent with studying. I studied every night and every morning. Every night and every morning. My exact routine is in one of my tech school videos, and I'll link it in the description below. But figure out a routine and schedule for yourself so that you stay committed to learning and that you don't get pushed back, you don't prolong your time, or worse, be sent home and get an entirely different AFSC. That's what happens to us as reservists. We get sent home and then we get a new AFC, and then you have to go to an entirely different tech school, right? For me, I had the largest motivation to get back home to my person. And so I was like, yeah, prolonging my time is not an option. Failing a test is not an option. And so I did everything I needed to do to get through it smoothly. Yeah. So I wanted to offer those tips, that advice to you guys. Let me know if it was helpful. Make sure you leave a comment if you have any questions or if you have any feedback. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe as well. I mentioned in the intro of this video that I'm also producing more content, a different type of content. I want to expand my channel, reach more people. So I'm adding a girl talk section and also dance, because dance is my passion, as you guys know. So you guys will be able to join me in that too. But like the video, subscribe, and also hit the notification bell so you get notified when I post videos. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.